For as bad as the high wind and dust storms that swept across the big country these past weekends were, they bring to mind storms of the past that eclipse them in scale, namely the Dust Bowl of the 1930s and 40s. Tonight, KTAB's Noah McKinney speaking with local agricultural experts and one woman that lived through that infamous time for a look back on the toll it took and how the world has adapted since to fight back against that catastrophe.
Just one glance of a strong Texas wind, and you can almost smell that dust sweeping across the field. And when drought, high winds, and a seasonal lack of crops combine, you've got every ingredient needed to send that dirt flying to blot out the sky.
We've worked real hard as farmers trying to minimize that wind damage.
Merkel cotton farmer Tim Shields has been plowing and planting for nearly 50 years. In that time, adopting some practices to lessen the chance that his soil will get carried away when those heavy winds blow.
We just plow a small portion of it and we leave the wheat stubble and it keeps that ground from blowing away.
This combination of strip tilling and crop rotation, all safeguards that have been developed to ensure the storms of today don't repeat the catastrophes of the past.
We were fortunate right where we lived. It wasn't as sandy as up north, but I'm sure it still blew. I know it did.
Born in Haskell County, Amelia Perry grew up in the big country, her infancy and adolescent years coinciding with the infamous Dust Bowl.
A cousin of mine, she used to talk about hanging wet towels in front of their windows to catch the dust that came in. As young as she was, Perry doesn't have a clear picture of the early years, but those hazy memories are bookended by hazy winds well into her married years. I mean, the dust would come into my house. You won't believe this, but it's the truth. And I would sweep it up in a shovel. Most all that dirt on her kitchen floor coming from farmland nearby.
Today's time, we have those brown out days, but we don't have as many of them.
Taylor County Ag Extension Agent Steve Estes saying it was the lessons learned from those times that resulted in the safeguards we see today, such as the Conservation Reserve Program of 1985.
Paid an incentive to farmers to take land out of cultivation and put it into grass. And then grass obviously holds the dirt down in a windstorm.
And while many like Perry survived to share their tales,
we had a good life. Dirt and all.
Shields says he's glad to see the change that's happened, ensuring modern winds don't carry with them the threat of decades past.
As many days and as strong as it's blown, I don't think that's normal. If we hadn't changed the way we farmed, I think it would have been pretty bad.
For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Noah McKinney.
Thank you, Noah. Shields says the recent windstorms didn't do much damage to his fields as they did farther north where cotton is the only crop they plant. He says he will begin to plant cotton in about mid-May.
And you'll go up on the plains where you'll see these wide open fields, and then right in the middle of it will be a house. And when the sand blows, it's something else.
And usually surrounded by trees to block the wind if at all possible.
If they're older homes, they do have that windbreak, that's for sure.